Okay, so this is round 3 of the Format Library Championship. I'm playing Dank Law, aka Winter. My bad. So I think he plays some kind of like Chaos Turbo list. He pretty much always plays the same deck. He plays like Sacred Phoenix, Hand of Nephthys, Thunder Dragon, Chaos, and like Cold Wave. He plays Cold Wave as tech, and like Cyberjar. So like the move he'll do is like activate Cold Wave and then set Cyberjar, and that will like guarantee a crazy Cyberjar goes off. Okay, so he opens with Thunder Dragon and setting a monster. Okay, so I have Jar in my hand turn 1. Um, so I'm gonna play Knock. His set monster was a Blade Knight. Alright, so that's 1 out to Jar. So I'll just play Knock and set Jar and try to catch him with a big early Morphing Jar play. Hopefully he doesn't have an out. Yeah, so it looks like he actually bricked. So the other reason I played Knock right away is because I was expecting maybe that set is like a Dakoichi. And if I had just attacked the Dakoichi that leads right into a Chaos Sorcerer banishing my DD Warrior Lady, that's like counterproductive. So I like this play that I did better. He discards Sorcerer and ends, indicating that he has a really bad hand. So yeah, I decide I'm just gonna go for Morphing Jar as right now. I don't see when it's going to get better for me to activate this Morphing Jar. I have 2 cards I can set. I have a Sinister Serpent in hand. I have a monster I can summon. And I have 1 BLS that is currently dead, and it's not going to be live anytime soon. I don't have a dark monster, and there's no guarantee that DD Warrior Lady is even going to hit the graveyard. So yeah, that's like a +5 Morphing Jar sort of. The bad thing though is he is discarding like all these awesome discards. First of all, I was not expecting to see him discard Demok at the end of his turn because he discarded Chaos Sorcerer. So him discarding Chaos Sorcerer is like the weirdest play I've ever seen. Why wouldn't he discard Demok or Sinister Serpent to end his turn? I really just don't get it. So I hit like a bunch of bad cards, and even though I didn't discard anything really that good either, I don't draw anything good off this Morphing Jar. So that's pretty frustrating. Like, I would have liked to have drawn some Trinity pieces. Like, where the hell are they? So, man, like that didn't work out as well as I think it would have most of the time. So I'll end. I'm gonna risk Heavy Storm here and set Book. Only really because I don't like my hand in the position I'm in, so I'm gonna play a little more loose, take more risks. Yeah, so this is like not a good hand at all to draw off Morphing Jar. And he got Graceful off my jar, and he has Serpent. For some reason, he chose to reveal that he has Knight Assailant and Magician of Faith instead of discarding Serpent plus something else. I'm not really sure why he would give me that information. It's so weird that he plays Blade Knight in this deck too. Okay, and he has Duo. He hits Sangan. I'm gonna discard Sook because I have two. And there's like a chance I'm gonna recycle my Morphing Jar anyway. Okay, so I guess maybe that's why he held Serpent. He has Tribe for DD. And I think I'm just gonna let him kill the DD. Save my book for Morphing Jar. Yeah, I don't know why I just let that Morphing Jar die. Like that is I think that's a good example of recency bias affecting my decision making. So I just resolved a jar. It worked out really poorly for me, and I had this like recency bias, and I'm like, I'm not gonna resolve another jar this game. Like screw that. It just helped him so much. But that's really that's very flawed thinking because I want to see the next 5 cards in my deck. Um, at this point, he had that spell and trap in his hand as well. This is now main phase 2. He should have clicked. So he would have discarded 5 to my 2 in hand. Plus you really have to count the Book of Moon as like a discard too because you're just burning it there. So it'd have been a 5-3 uh, card exchange. That's still a +2. There's absolutely no reason I shouldn't have discarded the Morphing Jar. Booked my Morphing Jar. And he told me basically he does not have another Night Assailant in hand, so because he would have just pitched 2 with Graceful if he had the 2. So that was frustrating. And then I decided for some reason not to play End Phase Call for Morphing Jar either. So again, the recency bias is negatively affecting my decision here. So he set 2. One of these is probably one book and one Sakurasu / Mirror Force / Ring. So I think if I had Summon Breaker, it's probably just gonna walk right into a book and like be a waste of a turn. So I think I can try attacking with Sook, see what happens. So yeah, that succeeded, and he was reluctant to. He probably didn't have Saku actually or Ring. He still probably has a book down, but he was just reluctant to book my Sook in response to the attack. What is that? So he activates Cold Wave at the start of his turn. I have the option here to chain call, but I don't think that's great. I'm thinking like, what am I gonna do? Like, maybe I really should have played call for the Morphing Jar, but in response to that, he's probably just gonna summon any monster and beat over the Morphing Jar, and he'll like know I have Jar. And I can't set any spells and traps either because of Cold Wave. So I think not playing call there is correct. Just wait for the call. What this Cold Wave does allow, however, is for me to summon Breaker without it getting booked. So I'll do that. It's just going to be a plus. He probably set Magician of Fate there. He's probably going to get the Graceful for like a second time this game. That's very unfortunate. Yeah, I could have, maybe, I don't know, the Morphing Jar call play. I think that his hand is Faith, Serpent, question mark, question mark. I think at the very least he would have had maybe like a Chaos Monster to banish my jar. That wouldn't have been good. But I think the real big mistake I made was the previous turn not booking my jar, just letting it go to the graveyard. That wasn't great. So breaker got to hit a Regeki break, which is really strong for me. So I attack into Faith, he gets Graceful. I'm ending with a lot of back row again, kind of vulnerable to Storm. He's seen half his deck. He's about to see another 3 cards, so this is not a good position to be in. And I have this like Heavy Storm set that I don't even really want to activate because of my position. He Gracefuls to discard Hand of Nephthys and Sinister. So yeah, this is like all Turbo Chaos stuff. And now he activates Card D. He does play a meta, but I remember during this match, I did not notice that he discarded a meta. I was like kind of out of it, I think. So that card D was actually pretty good for me. My hand wasn't very good. However, he has this Prima. He runs into this Prima for a DMOC, and I don't have a Dust or a MST to disrupt it, which is like very frustrating. So he's going to get Graceful for a 3rd time this game. And I think he makes a really bad play here, playing Graceful right away instead of waiting for Serpent next turn. Like, I don't see a reason to do that. Especially if he's not going to get any more aggressive than he is currently. He had the 2nd Night Assailant in hand. He just revealed it because he has another in the graveyard. Can't stop this breaker attack unless I book, but that's not a good book. So I'll just take it. Yeah, and once again, so this I need to chain Call in his end phase here, get back Morphing Jar, and book it. I can do that all in his end phase to play around the possibility that he set an MST or a Dust Tornado, even though I don't think he plays Dust. So it would play around, MST and Ring. And then, I would flip the heavy on my turn. That would be huge. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have this really bad case of recency bias here. That's very negatively affecting my decision making. Recency bias against Jar. Like, imagine if I were to flip heavy in this situation after using my book and call. Hitting 4 spells and traps, having a set Morphing Jar, then set 4 from my hand. Can even summon Tribe, which would actually be good. Discard Serpent. Yeah, absolutely crazy, crazy bad decision not to get back Morphing Jar there. Yeah, and he's in deck out range too. So not only is Morphing Jar just getting me all these cards, but he's so low in deck that deck out is a real win condition for me. So I like at this point in this turn, I'm like so frustrated with myself for not playing Call in the end phase. There's I think the best play I can make now is to I still probably want to play Call for. I probably want to flip this heavy, just destroy a bunch of his cards. So yeah, I can use Call for Sangan, then flip heavy, see if he has a response. His response is to call Phoenix, which I ask him about, and he says that will trigger, I guess. destroyed by a card effect. So I guess it would be destroyed by Call of the Haunted. Destroy this card. Destroy that target, rather. So I decide to chain MST from my hand to prevent the Call of the Haunted from resolving, because I do want to end my turn by setting Sakuratsu in Dust, which I wouldn't be able to do if he had Sacred Phoenix. Now he chains to my MST. He's booking his Demock to save it. I will also book my Sangan to flip it down just to give me some field presence. Booking a Sangan, I don't know, maybe that is a misplay actually. What would I search? I would search for Magician of Faith next. Yeah, I probably want that in my hand next turn. We'll see what happens. I'm not playing very well this game. So now I'll play Duo. I know he has a Night Assailant in hand, though. He's just going to discard that. Yeah. Lucky for me, he doesn't have Graceful in hand, because he fired it off rather errantly previous turn. So I will attack with Tribe to flip the Demock up and then kill it for free with Serpent main phase 2. And yeah, I just walked into a heavy storm. There was like a 75% chance he would have it by now, and he does. I didn't totally think he did have it because he ended his turn setting 4 like this. So, I don't know, I guess he just had it. I read that wrong. I let him get back Serpent after playing Storm. I probably should have just sharked him because I'm losing here. That is a procedural error for sure. For instance, I could have had like Trap Dust Shoot set. He doesn't know for sure if I play Trap Dust Shoot or not. And what he just did there would have played around Trap Dust Shoot. And he activated Heavy Storm, so he would have revealed whether I had Dust Shoot or not. If I had flipped a Dust Shoot and sent it to the graveyard, he obviously wouldn't want to take back his Serpent. So yeah, I should have sharked him. He totally deserves it. Alright, so there's a BLS. It's going to remove Tribe. Oh, he's thinking about doing damage, which is, that's good for me. I'll gladly take it in the graveyard. Although I don't have Premier Call. So yeah, if he's just going to banish Tribe, the better play is to attack it. Yeah, so he set this monster next to BLS. I know the other card he has in hand is Sinister Serpent. So I was totally expecting him to set Night Assailant there. I know Night Assailant is mandatory effect, so I know it's just going to trigger this Sangan. So that was a misplay for him, for sure, setting Night Assailant there. I forgot my Serpent. That's great. Awesome. Alright, so I'll search for Faith, but I can't set it yet. I need to out this BLS first. So he has BLS Serpent, mystery card. I'm not dead. I just really need to top deck like either Graceful Pot or Metamorphosis. So yeah, I have like 3 outs. A trap would be useful too. Now he sets another monster next to BLS. That is worrisome. That doesn't look like Serpent. That looks like something he top decked. So I'm concerned that that's Magician of Faith. Great. So I top another totally useless card, a flip. I also have Snatch that I can top, but I'm not topping that either. This is a rough game for me. So I just need to set the Magician of Faith here, I think, to... Actually, I should have set Merchant, because this Faith isn't... It's almost certainly not resolving, or I'm dead. So... Yeah, he doesn't fall for it. He just attacks directly and kills me. So that was frustrating. And then to make matters worse, I didn't notice that he was playing Scapegoat and Meta. So I sided as if he was playing like a standard turbo deck with weird tech. I put in 3 Trap Dust Shoot, which is awesome either way. But I also put in 2 Creature Swap and took out my Book of Moons, which I would want to do against a normal turbo deck, but not against one that's also playing Scapegoat and Meta. So I open with a Trap Dust Shoot. Thinking about whether I want to set Call the Haunted also. And I think the answer is no. I will set Magician of Faith. So this way, if I draw into a spell or he sets a monster, I have a live Magician of Faith. I can then tribute it for Air Knight, for free. And I'm going to use Trap Dust Shoot to prevent him from attacking this Magician of Faith, running it over for free. So I will send back a Night Assailant. His hand is a brick, of course, but he is graceful. So he has Sorcerer, Graceful, Torrential, Meta, Goat. So obviously I think sending back Night Assailant is the correct choice. He has no opportunity to plus with it off Graceful. So, okay, this play he did there makes no sense at all. There's no reason to set your spells and traps before you Graceful. He basically just told me that they're Torrential and Goat. He should absolutely 100% activate Graceful before setting anything. He draws into another Goat and discards Sorcerer. He also draws into Thunder Dragon, so his hand is Thunder, Thunder, Meta, Mystery card. If he draws a Flip Effect monster to set, that's awesome. I can then play Knock. If he just passes, that's also good for me. Oh, so we need to recreate the game here. So let me hold on 1 second. Okay, so this is the recreated game state. Yeah. So he has Torrential and Goat, 2 Thunders in hand, and Metamorphosis. Okay, I think he's just ending his turn. So he drew something. He drew a third card that he doesn't want to use, I guess. So that's awkward and unfortunate for me. I have the set Magician of Faith that I don't want to flip. It'd be a really strong move if I were able to flip it for a spell, then tribute it for Air Knight, even though I'd walk into Torrential. That would just set up my Call the Haunted. So I'm thinking, hopefully I can just pass another turn and set up to do this play later. So I can set Call. That way, if I can do it on the following turn, I'll walk into Torrential, but then I'll bring Air Knight right back with Call. So I need to draw a better spell or have him set a face down monster, which if he draws a flip effect, I think he'll do. Yeah, I'm not going to let him scapegoat in the end phase just because he saw his draw for turn. So he plays meta on his Sinister Serpent, takes my Magician of Faith that was kind of stuck there anyway. So that's fine. I don't think he has a way to attack me unless he tributes Thousand Eyes for Thunder Dragon, but that would be good. That would be bad card value for him, good for me. So now he sets a face down monster. My hand is still pretty dead. I need a way to unlock it. So if I draw something like Scapegoat, that'll let me play meta and then let me tribute for Air Knight. Although I do have to contend with this torrential tribute this guy has. So here I'm going to play Knock because I'm thinking that he set some kind of flip effect. Cyberjar, yeah. So there's a chance he would have tributed Thousand Eyes for Thunder Dragon. Okay. So I decide to start committing more cards to the field there. I'm not really sure what the point of that was, considering I know he has Torrential. So yeah, that's a misplay, I think, to set the DD Warrior Lady. I'm not sure what I'm afraid of. I also set Ring, which is not bad, actually. I think it's fine. Okay, so now this is coming back to bite me. This mistake I made not noticing he had Scapegoat and Meta in his deck. I never would have sided Creature Swap. Instead, this card would be Book of Moon. So that Book of Moon obviously would be way more useful against a deck that runs Scapegoat and Meta. So he's summoning Breaker. I'm going to play Ring on the summon because I don't want him to just break Call of the Haunted before I can use it. Another dead creature swap. So this is really coming back to bite me here. I think I'm just going to keep passing until something happens where I can do a better play. Alright, so he's going to play Raigeki Break on his own card in the standby phase, get back Serpent, and then start the turn by playing Cold Wave. I'm not going to call back Faith in response to that. So that Raigeki Break freed up his Thousand Eyes. He can now take my DD Warrior Lady. And it looks like now he's going to go into Thunder Dragon. So I'm kind of frozen here by this Cold Wave. And he has Blackluster Soldier. So he's doing 4,600 to the dome. That leaves me at 18. And I can't activate a spell this turn. That's really rough. So what I'm going to have to do is definitely have to set this Merchant here and just pass. And I can call back DD Warrior Lady to prevent him from killing me. But only if he, if he does this, if he decides to turn BLS to defense and banish the merchant. And remember, his set cards are known. There's still Scapegoat and Torrential. He has another Thunder Dragon and Sinister Serpent in hand. So he has Thunder, Serpent, and he summons Sangan. So I know all his cards now. So he is attacking with Thunder. Trying to think whether I should call back DD Warrior Lady here or wait for the Sangan to attack. So even if I call back DD Warrior Lady, I'm going to take 1100 damage. Right? I'm just assuming he's going to attack with Thunder. I think that's the right play to do. So that would put me down to 700. I feel like the difference between being at 700 life points and 200 life points is not that big. Either way, I can't activate Premature Burial or Delinquent Duo. Either way, I'm vulnerable. Like, I lose to, like, one attack pretty much no matter what. So I think the difference is not as big as the difference between having a real DD Warrior Lady on the field and not. So, yeah, when he tries to attack with Sangan, I call back DD. Now this DD has a clear path to banish Sangan. Alright, so my draw for turn is Sinister Serpent. Have a light in graveyard. If I can get out... if I can dump a dark somehow, then I can go into Blackluster Soldier. So here I'm thinking that I want to bait out his Torrential with Serpent plus meta. I know he can't stop Serpent plus meta also. So I'm thinking to myself that I want to play Serpent plus meta, take BLS, and attack Thunder Dragon. But another play I can do is to do this all in main phase 2. And I actually think that would have been stronger. Knowing he has Torrential, I can just attack the Sangan and banish it, so it won't even trigger on Torrential, and I'll get value out of DD Warrior Lady. So I should have done that before I do this meta on Serpent play. And, I'm obviously going to target BLS, but in response he's going to activate Torrential there because he has no out to 1000ize with equipped with BLS there. It's just gonna like start attacking. He does have Goat down, so there's an argument to be made that he should not have triggered that Torrential so quickly. But yeah, being at 200 life points, this puts me in a bad spot now. He's getting his Sangan Search, and I'm going to have to bring out BLS. So it's just, even though the Magician of Faith is sort of dead until he outs BLS, and whenever he outs BLS, he's just going to win anyway. That does let him thin one, like, dead card out of his deck, so that he has a better chance to top deck and out to BLS, which is, that's going to be the quickest way I lose the game, is if he tops and out. Okay, here, yeah, one thing I could maybe do is play Creature Swap and meta a token to take the BLS, but that's kind of slow. I'd rather just try to let him out the BLS. So he has like several outs. So he tops card destruction. Pitches 3 cards. Yeah, so that's even worse. If I had used DD Warrior to attack the Sangan the previous turn, he would have only had 2 cards to pitch for card destruction. So I'm just giving him like additional chances to draw the out to this situation. But it looks like the top card after card destruction is Ring of Destruction, and I sided out my books, so there's no chance I have to stop the ring. So that's the match. I kind of threw this one away, in my opinion. I probably got a bit outdrawn, especially in the first game, not drawing Trinity until maybe the whole game. I guess I saw one duo, but I saw it around like very late game. Anyway, yeah, I think my own mistakes led to losses in both of these games. So I really just have to play better if I want to win a tournament or every round or whatever. So that's pretty frustrating. Definitely not my best game, but we can still learn from our losses almost more than we learn from our wins. So I'll do round 4 next.